Well, the Arizona Diamondbacks squandered multiple offensive opportunities to win an absolute gem toss today by Brandon Pfaadt. We have more on one of the best outings of his career and why the Diamondbacks really needed to complete the S word, which I guess I'm never allowed to say sweep ever again. So, and I just said it. Don't go anywhere. We're starting in 30 seconds. Oh, Faj. Right when you think that they're on a roll, they still can't get the S word done.
They literally brought me in.
We got this guy
Send
here.
me back home again.
Yeah, we brought him in. We were like, we're gonna celebrate a sweep, and then never mind, Faj. Get out of here. Scram. You gotta go. Go back to wherever the hell you.
Make me happy.
I don't even know where you are anymore. Welcome in to the PHNX Diamondback Show. Of course, my name is Derek Montilla. His name is Jacob Franklin. And we are all very sad that the Diamondbacks lost this absolute gem by Brandon Pfaadt today by a score of 5-1. That score doesn't even seem real, and I hate it so much. But welcome in to the PHNX Diamondback Show. This show is brought to you by our friends at Bet365 and Game Time. Make sure to go use that code of PHNX365 when you sign up over at Bet365. Get yourself some bonus bets for following a few easy steps over at Game Time. You will already save money last minute on ticket deals, but if you use our code of PHNX, you'll get an additional $20 off. So make sure to do that. Great to see you guys here. We got our guy, Shane Diefenbach, on the ones and twos today, and he is we need stability because Damon would be beside himself today after this loss.
I'm cool as a cucumber.
Yes, we needed this. And this is how the day started. Came into the clubhouse. The vibes were so chill. So chill, in fact, that I felt like I was going to disrupt the vibes. So I immediately left. I walked in. It was 10:05 a.m. There were no other media members in there. And I was like, I'm going to get the hell out of here because I feel like something very calm is happening here and I'm going to break it up. And sure enough, that calmness led to Brandon Pfaadt having one of, if not the best outing of his entire career, going 9 scoreless in an unfortunate loss to the Giants in the series finale today. Of course, before we move on, I did want to let you guys know it is still Big Brothers, Big Sisters month around here, and we value them so much. Here at Phoenix, PHNX, we Finksers around here, we support this great cause. So make sure to help out some young kids here in the Valley, throughout the state, get the mentorship needs they need by simply hitting the donate button right here on YouTube. Of course, if you were going to send us a super chat or anything like that, we appreciate your kindness. Please go ahead and donate to this great cause. We are trying to hit our goal of $50,000 this month collectively as an all-city group. Again, help support the great work by Big Brothers, Big Sisters. They do some amazing work in our community by hitting that donate button. So thank you guys so much, and do it in honor of Brandon Pfaadt's excellent start today. He deserves all of the kudos, all of the credit. The offense, meanwhile, came up extremely short. And no discredit to Justin Verlander. He is a legend in the game. And today, him and Brandon Pfaadt absolutely had a pitching duel where neither player really blinked. And essentially, both were eventually removed from the game. And this one went into 11 innings after it was cruising along for like a 2-hour and 20-minute game. And the Diamondbacks ultimately lose it by a score of 5-1. Their record is now 77-76. On the season. And again, Brandon Pfaadt was brilliant today. Just unfortunately for the Diamondbacks, Justin Verlander was equally brilliant. But big game Brandon was up for the test. He came out today and just shoved. He was absolutely dominant in this game for the Diamondbacks. He went hitless through the first 5 innings. Then he gave up a harmless single in the 6th that ended his no-hit bid. That was to Drew Gilbert, who was immediately put out on a double play on the following batter. But my favorite point of the game, and this is when I knew, Shane, that he was really shoving. When I knew Brandon Pfaadt was really shoving is when they gave Bryce Eldridge the old sad trombone after he struck out for the second time in the 5th inning. I felt like in
I
that
love
moment,
that.
I was like, that is going to come back to bite us. That seems mean and antagonistic.
That's nasty.
It was. And essentially at the end of the day, the Giants had the last laugh in this one. But let's see. In the chat, we got our guy, The Journey. Great to see you here, The Journey. He says, Derek, can you please tell me why I love this team so much? Every time they reel me back in, they crush me. Can't wait to be so happy when they sweep the Phillies, then cry when they miss the playoffs. You're not wrong about that. I've been waiting for the other shoe to drop for a very long time with this team. I feel like they are doing that exact thing, reeling us in so that the heartbreak is even more devastating than perhaps the heartbreak from 2024 when they didn't make the playoffs. But no, I mean, you can't expect the Diamondbacks to win every single game between now and the end of the season. And again, this was a huge win last night, getting that big victory because of what it meant that the Diamondbacks had not only won the series over the Giants, but they had won the season series over the Giants. So should some sort of tiebreaker situation occur at the end of the year, the Diamondbacks will hold the tiebreaker at least over the Giants, but they do not have it over the Mets, and the Mets right now are still the team that they need to be concerned with. As of now, it would appear that they are not in a good position in their game. I'm not even going to say words about anything, but I'm just going to say they're playing a baseball game and it's happening.
Maybe you should just stop talking.
I should. Maybe, you know what? Go ahead and follow us on Twitter. I'm at cap_caveman. I'm gonna wrap it up.
Just okay. Mm-hmm. Maybe we try something new where it's a podcast with no words. And so just like, what's the word for talking with your hands?
Emoting? I don't know.
It starts with a G.
Gesturing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe you just gesture the whole time. Perfect.
Did that get the message across?
Yeah, I think it did. Shout out Owen, yeah.
What's that?
Shout out Owen. Just became a member.
Oh, hey, Owen.
Part of the Supporters Club.
Thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you here. I don't know if you're here or if you're over there in the Cardinals chat, but we'll take ownership of you. We will tell you very much. Thank you for your joining the group over here and moving us one step closer to a little Jesse Jr. Emoji in there. So appreciate you. Also, Scott Mack, it was great to meet you today. And sometimes you people are unexpectedly handsome. I'm just going to say about Scott Mack. Look like a young Johnny Damon, but with a better beard, better hair, and bigger muscles. It was quite impressive. Was not expecting that from Scott Mack.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Torey better watch out because if that man's asking for his job, then he's definitely in some jeopardy. But Brandon Pfaadt, again, can't say enough about what he did for this team today. He only allowed that one hit in this game, and it was a pathetic single to Drew Gilbert. His sinker and four-seam fastball were just working great in tandem today. He threw his sinker 29% of the outing. He threw the fastball 23%. I mean, he threw everything today. He threw his curveball 16%. He threw the sweeper 13%, changeup 13%, and then the cutter 5 times. So literally threw the kitchen sink at the Giants today. You got 14 whiffs in total. 3 whiffs were on the sinker. The most were on the fastball with 6. And then he had 4 whiffs on the sweeper. So Brandon Pfaadt, again, 9 innings pitched today, 1 hit allowed, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 K. Just an outstanding outing here from Brandon Pfaadt. And of course, we got to fire up that Circle K strikeout meter, because with every K you win at Circle K, text strike to 31310 to start saving on fuel, food, and drinks after every Dbacks home game. Today, Brandon Pfaadt's performance came 1 strikeout short of getting you a free hot dog. That's sad. Y'all should have gotten a free hot dog. No! But you do get a free any size hot coffee. Woo! So, okay, we're back. We've never been more back. And Brandon Pfaadt at home delivers. He not only delivers with the free sodas and the coffees and the hot dogs sometimes, but he has just been outstanding at home, and it is baffling. We asked Torey Lovullo before the game, and they had no explanation for it. And he said if we did have an explanation for it, we would have tried to fix it, which actually it makes a lot of sense for him to say that. But Brandon Pfaadt on the road this year, 7.29 ERA, a 1.527 whip, 6.9 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. Meanwhile, at home coming in today's game, 3.50 ERA, 1.287 whip, and 8 strikeouts per 9 innings. After today's game, with the 9 innings and no earned runs, he lowers his ERA at Chase Field to 3.15. And again, this was just an incredible outing from Brandon Pfaadt. You couldn't really ask literally for more from him. Some people wanted him to go out there in the 10th inning. Another guy named Brandon came out and cleaned up there. We have not one but two big game Brandons. Brandon Garcia had himself a great inning there in extra innings, but unfortunately, John Curtis did not. So we have Brandon Garcia going out there getting 1 inning of work, 2 strikeouts, and then the top of the 11th was as much of a disaster as any inning could be in baseball. Not only did the Giants score, but they scored 5 runs. They couldn't be stopped. John Curtis did not record an out in the inning. He gave up 3 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were earned because one was the ghost runner. He walked 1 and struck out nobody and got no outs. I already said that part, but I felt like it was worth saying again. Meanwhile, Juan Murillo, who Torey Lovullo refuses to call that, he will forever call him Juan Murillo, gave 1 hit, 1 run scored on that hit. He did strike out 2, and he got the 1 inning of work in. But at that point, the damage was done. 5 runs had scored in the inning, and the Diamondbacks, with the way that their offense was rolling in this game, couldn't even start to muster up a comeback in the bottom of the 11th inning. They did score their 1 run of the game in the bottom of the inning, but it was just a very sad offensive output. And again, it's weird to say that because we're sitting here praising Brandon Pfaadt for his amazing pitching and then saying the offense was sad. And basically both teams did the same thing until that 11th inning. Both teams were held in check. Neither offense got going, and both starting pitchers had an incredible outing. But Brandon Pfaadt is absolutely 100% our king snake in today's game. Pfaadt went out there and gave this team, again, 9 innings, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 7 K. This is the best outing of Brandon Pfaadt's career. He sets a career high with 9 innings. He has become the 8th pitcher to work a 9 scoreless inning game with 1 or fewer hits in franchise history, and he joined some pretty illustrious company there. Curt Schilling, Miguel Batista, Randy Johnson did it a whole bunch of times. Brandon Webb, Edwin Jackson, Patrick Corbin, and Tyler Gilbert. Yes, that Tyler Gilbert. You remember that thing that happened. But Brandon Pfaadt now is the 3rd Dbacks starting pitcher, first time at home to throw 9+ shutout innings and not be credited with a complete game shutout, joining Miguel Batista, who it happened to on May 28th, 2002, and Edwin Jackson, who it happened to on June 2nd, 2010. So it's part of our heritage, basically, is what I'm saying. It's part of our culture to have that happen. But yeah, overall, this was just an offensive, a bad day offensively for this team. And the Giants' 5 runs in the 11th inning are their 2nd most runs in the 11th inning this season, behind 9 that they scored in the game against the Cubs on May 6th. You guys remember having some wacky games where a lot of runs were scored against the Cubs late. Remember? Petridge Farms remembers. But anyway, this one got away from them late. Of course, we have more from the clubhouse. I think do we have Torey Lovullo here ready to go? Oh,
no,
not yet.
Almost. I'll work on that next.
Okay.
I started on the players first because I'm a big dumb idiot.
Oh, no problem.
Chat spam hashtag Shane's a big dumb idiot.
Yeah, Shane's a big dumb idiot. We had a whole conversation about that.
Yep.
I guess
And
I don't know, but
hashtag Shane's a big dumb idiot.
What do we have though, Shane, from the clubhouse? Do we have Blaze Alexander?
Momentarily, we can get to that after our first break. Maybe.
All right, let's do that. We'll hear from Blaze Alexander, and we will talk about why this offense was so terrible today. Again, credit where credit is due to Justin Verlander, but we're not going to worry about that. We're going to worry about Torey Lovullo pinch hitting ADC for James McCann instead of letting James McCann just stay in the game, or maybe Ildemaro Vargas. We're going to do a lot of questioning of that particular move on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, you know that moment, the moment when you suddenly realize you've lost your sunglasses. I've been very forgetful lately. I've lost a lot of things, including last night. Damon and I spent a good 15 minutes looking for my keys. Now, if you are an older person like myself, these days come at you fast. Life happens quickly, and you will find yourself losing your sunglasses quite often. Maybe you'll find them, maybe you won't, but regardless of if you do, our friends at Shady Rays has your back with the best lost and broken replacement plan in all of eyewear. Not only that, but they make an amazing pair of sunglasses that have durable frames and crystal clear optics. Some of the best looking sunglasses I've ever personally worn, with some amazing polarized lenses. And they also have their color rush lenses, which adds an extra level of just incredible vision to your lenses. So check out the entire line that Shady Rays has to offer. And of course, if you don't love your Shady Rays, you can exchange them for free or get your money back within 30 days. No questions asked. And again, no questions asked if you lose them. They got your back long after you purchase. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. And for more than 15 years, Access Insurance Agency of Arizona has provided affordable and reliable car insurance to drivers in the Phoenix metro area. And one of the best parts about Access Auto is they are a dedicated part of the local community that will help you find the biggest discounts and work with carriers to provide you with the best rates that they can find you for car insurance. Access Auto helps Arizona drivers get insured by offering flexible coverage options and accepting various forms of IDs, driving histories, and license types. By partnering with over 20 insurance carriers, they make it easy for you to compare rates and find the best policy for your budget. Access Auto, trusted by the community, rooted in Phoenix, and ready to help. All sub-statements are subject to terms, exclusions, and conditions of the applicable policy. In all instances, the current policy contract language prevails. Coverage is subject to individual policyholders meeting underwriting qualifications and state availability. Other terms, conditions, and exclusions may apply. Well, the Diamondbacks needed some insurance. They needed some insurance runs. They needed runs of some kind, but they did not get any of those tonight, or today, I should say. Justin Verlander dominated the Diamondbacks lineup as much as Pfaadt dominated the Giants. Geraldo Perdomo did extend his current hitting streak to 8 games with a single in the 4th inning, but the Dbacks only had 2 hits prior to the 9th inning. So those opportunities were very, very limited today, and the Diamondbacks squandered them. Much like last night, which at least they did win that game, the Diamondbacks had runners on third base multiple times with less than 2 outs, and they squandered every single opportunity. It was very frustrating, especially considering the limited scoring in this game. And you knew that they just needed one of those runs, including Corbin Carroll hitting a 1-out triple to get the winning run 90 feet away there in the 9th inning. And it was a frustrating, inning to watch, of course, especially with the way things went, with the way that this team kind of collapsed in the 11th inning, the way that John Curtis pitched and the way they could not keep John. I mean, it felt like it didn't matter who Torey Lovullo sent out there in the 11th inning. They were going to get nicked up, as he likes to say, there by the Giants offense. But the Diamondbacks just, again, they had another opportunity there in the 10th inning as well. So in the 9th and the 10th, 2 opportunities to score. That's why you can't really have sympathy for them for the way this game went. I don't know what the answer is. It's not easy. The Giants also had a runner on third base with less than 2 outs, and they weren't able to score that runner. That was in the top of the 10th inning when Brandon Garcia came in and was outstanding in relief. But the Diamondbacks, again, the Giants, they had Corbin Carroll over there at first base or third base, 1 out. They intentionally walked Gabriel Moreno. Then Blaze Alexander gets hit by a pitch, and that loads the bases. And then comes the very questionable decision for Torey Lovullo to turn to ADC. Now, I will defend the decision in one way, and that is that Adrian Del Castillo is a guy that is able to usually lift the ball. He's had some big home runs for this team. He's had some big moments. Overall, the body of work isn't great offensively. However, you felt like there was a good chance for him to at least hit a fly ball, sac fly to the outfield that would score Corbin Carroll. However, the other side to this, and the very more important side, is that ADC has not been hitting well at all lately and has, in fact, been striking out a lot. And so for you to take the bat out of a veteran like James McCann, who kind of could know what to do in that situation and doesn't have a hard time issue himself lifting the ball to the outfield, you put it in a young player who, obviously did not end up coming up, in the moment. I will say that the baseball is ridiculous because in so many of these instances, these things happen so quickly. These decisions happen so quickly. And the results dictate whether it was right or wrong or brilliant or not. ADC pops one out to deep center field and Corbin scores and Torey looks like a genius. But I have to say that I don't love the move. I don't love the move because of the fact that this This is quite frankly, this is a time where experience seems to matter a bit. We just had the discussion with Torey just yesterday about James McCann and everything that he's done for this team, everything he's meant to this team. I told you guys last night he was throwing sunflower seeds in Blaze Alexander's hair. That's a glue guy, right? But also a guy that has a ton of Major League Baseball experience and not a guy that I want the bat taken out of his hand. I do know that they love to play the matchups. I know he said after the game, Torey said that he likes the ADC matchup much more, but he just overall, I don't think it was a good move. I would have much rather seen him gone to Ildemaro Vargas. Again, another guy with a lot of experience and another guy that has been hitting the ball better lately than Adrian Del Castillo. So it feels like when it comes to especially selecting pinch hitters in big moments, Torey does not seem to push the right buttons or pull the right levers or whatever stupid metaphor you want to use for that. He definitely doesn't. And it, again, it's in moments like this that it's highlighted and spotlighted, but this one didn't make a ton of sense to me other than, the pitching, the overall matchup itself. But in the 10th inning, they squandered another opportunity with a man on third with less than 2 outs. Alec Thomas was the ghost runner to start the 10th. Tawa moved him over with a sac bunt that got him over to third. And then just some abysmal at-bats from Jake McCarthy and, unfortunately, Geraldo Perdomo, who is a guy that you typically feel like you can count on. Both guys grounded out to end the inning, and the Diamondbacks were unable to get that run in. So it was just an overall unfortunate way for this game to fizzle out. It was an unfortunate lack of run support for Brandon Pfaadt, who quite frankly deserved far more than that. And I think, again, overall, it really wasn't about what he accomplished today on the mound. It was more about what the team didn't accomplish when he was throwing the ball really, really well. And I think we have Brandon Pfaadt here discussing this game and the missed opportunity here with not winning it.
A little bit of everything, but before, I just want to shout out McCann back there. A lot of that credit goes to him. He had me dialed in all day, and he was calling all the pitches back there, so I just had to execute it. So big shout out to him, and that's mostly everything was working today, and we were able to get ahead, get some crucial double plays, and defense made some great plays as well.
You almost went 9 earlier this season, but how'd it feel to go 9 today?
Felt good to accomplish it, and it was unfortunate that we couldn't get a win, but we're playing good baseball, and a series victory over the Giants at this point in the season is awesome, and hopefully we can keep it rolling.
It really sucks because Brandon Pfaadt has been struggling lately. He has not been, and I addressed the numbers earlier. So it's pretty bad when you go out there and just pitch one of the best games of your entire career on one of the most important days of your team's season, and the team didn't back you up with run support. It's easier for me to say that, right? It's easier said than done. Again, Justin Verlander, the Giants fan base is screaming the exact same thing we are. And they're upset that they didn't get the win for Justin Verlander, who currently, I think in his last 3 starts now, has a less than 1 ERA. I think he has a 0.86 ERA. So credit where credit is due. This was not the chumps that the Diamondbacks faced from the Giants in the last 2 games. This was a Major League Baseball legend. And it sucks that they lost, but overall, it's good to remember that they won the series. They won the season series, and right now, that's all the Diamondbacks can really hope to do. They can't really hope to go into any of these series against these very difficult opponents and sweep any of them. So that's the reason why that you're going to have to expect them at best to go like 6-3 the rest of the way for the remaining 9 games. Anything above that is excellent. Anything below that probably is going to cause them to fall short of making the postseason. All depends if the Mets met, and right now, still not going to. Do we have to go back to it being a quiet show now, Shane? Do I have to go back to not talking about it? Well, instead of me talking, let's hear from Blaze. Here's what he had to say about losing this game but winning the series.
I mean, looking at it, hey, we won the series, so good series for us. But games like those, you want to win. We're in there, 90 feet away. Things happen. Things happen. It's baseball, and that's why we play the game. It's fun.
Have you ever seen any human being that was more aptly named than Blaze Alexander? I can't come up with one. I don't know. Definitely not me. Like, you look at me, my name definitely shouldn't be Derek Montia. Like, none of that makes any sense looking at me for sure. But
what do you think your name should be? Like Pepe?
That's pretty good. Maybe Pepito. I was thinking Pepito, but
That's good.
Whatever.
Dr. Pepino Grigio?
Papa Giorgio. I like the name Papa Giorgio.
Yeah, we have your room ready, Mr. Papa Giorgio.
Perfect. Been waiting. Thank you, guys. The defense was really good by both teams. Stellar defense played by both teams. Quite frankly, the Giants were kind of a mess defensively last night, and including that walk-off hit by Jordan Lawler, their defense is a big reason why this team, the Diamondbacks, were able to win that game. But they did not have those same shortcomings today. They were on point. Ketel misplayed a ball in the 9th inning. Like, that was the only mistake I really remember making. Like, no team really made a mistake, and even when runners got on base, it felt like a double play ensued, or, again, it was a fairly harmless, effort there being put together by the opposition. But Blaze Alexander, he was 2 for 3 today. Geraldo Perdomo 1 for 5. Corbin Carroll 1 for 3 with that big triple that got him on base and a walk. And I think the biggest problem here, if we're talking about notable performances today, is Ketel Marte going 0 for 4 yet again. And after last night's game, it really did feel like Ketel had kind of turned a corner, and maybe we were going to see him start to put together. I'm not asking him to go out there and go 5 for 5. I'm just asking him to go out there and be the Ketel Marte that can come up big in those big moments, and he was unable to do so. Not only that, he has really struggled now in the month of September. I think, not factoring in today's game, he's currently slashing 185, 250, 352 with a 602 OPS. He has 2 home runs and 3 triples and 6 RBI in the month of September. And again, factoring in today's 0 for 4 performance, that only gets worse. So not a great stretch for Ketel Marte, and quite frankly, not a great stretch during a time where the Diamondbacks need him the most. So, but we have more from Torey. I think Torey is prepared to give us an explanation for ADC over Ildemaro Vargas or anyone else in his current lineup. This is what Torey had to say.
Yes and no. I like both guys. Dell's swinging a good bat right now. He had a big home run yesterday. I was looking to get the ball elevated. That's all. That's it. He had some good swings, some really good swings. And the bottom line is he missed. He missed on a couple of key opportunities. So yeah, of course, I'll think about that all night.
The Diamondbacks really have a hard time accomplishing the sweep, and this might just be crazy conspiracy theory talk, Shane, but I feel like there is a direct correlation a lot of times between the fact that the Diamondbacks tend not to take batting practice. They do it in the cage. They don't take batting practice on the field when it's a getaway game like this, a day game. The schedule tends to be shorter. People come in later. Obviously, it's understandable due to the late night. I wish I could come in later. I wish I didn't have to be at the ballpark at 9:30 in the morning, 10 o'clock when I was up hanging out with Damon and talking ball until 2 o'clock in the morning. That doesn't seem fair to me. But the Diamondbacks just don't seem to get the job done, especially, in the finale. And offensively, it just feels like, I don't know. Get out there on the field and take some batting practice, maybe. I mean,
maybe you need to do it too.
I'll absolutely do batting practice. I mean, I put a lot of things on the line this year, Shane. I put my beard on the line. Me and Damon are gonna shave little slits into our eyebrows like Ketel Marte if they make the playoffs. I've agreed to go.
I believe that was my idea.
That was your idea. You're right, and I need to credit you for that. Also, going to Ketel's barber and getting my hair cut like Ketel's, which, as I was looking at his hair today, I was realizing how difficult of a task that truly is going to be.
Yeah, and how impossible it will be for you to pull it off.
Right. Absolutely. He's got like arrows in the back.
Can I do something a little nasty right now? Can I be a little?
I'm always down to do something nasty.
Can I be a little mean?
Please.
I think Bryce Harper wears the puka shell necklace, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, he's Bryce Harper. He can kind of do whatever he wants.
Mm.
That's fine. Ketel wears his big chain, right? Yep. Blaze Alexander is not at big chain necklace level yet.
No.
We need to start holding him accountable.
for the chain that he's currently wearing. That chain was given to him, I found out, by Geraldo Perdomo.
Okay, never mind. I take everything back.
However,
I'm sorry, Jerry.
No, you're right. Like, I get where you're going with that because I don't know. I mean, he was 2 for 3 today, though. 2 for 3 on a day where everybody else was 0-4 or 1-4 or 0-4. Don't forget. So I say the chain stays until it becomes a problem. See, this is what I was worried about when we rescued Jesse Jr. because Shane, he was having success, and you know what happens when you change anything. These fans, they'll come for you. These fans will absolutely blame you for any change in the dynamic. In fact, it's the reason why I demand that Jack Summers still complains about stuff. And he still doesn't seem to understand why. When Jack Summers sits there and complains to me that this team is going to blow it, they don't. However, when he believes in them, they lose belief in themselves. So I need Jack to stay at a certain level of pessimism throughout the entire season and throughout every single game. And he's starting to laugh at me about that. I don't really, it's not a funny matter. It's just trying to do what it takes to get the W. You know what I mean? It's really what it's about. Overall, though, again, Torey can say what he likes. And honestly, this is one of those things where hindsight is always going to be 20/20. And considering it played out the way it did, it looks like a bad move. And I still think it is. I think Scott Mack in there said that he would never have a kid with a 40% strikeout rate up there in that big moment, especially like pinch hitting him in there, right? Like bringing him in. I don't know. There's something about sexy man McCann that I think was going to get the job done. And I don't really feel like the problem was going to be lifting the ball to the outfield for McCann. So again, I know the pitching matchup might have been, the righty-lefty matchup might have been a little bit more what played into taking McCann out of the game. But if that's the case, then Ildemar Vargas still seems like a fine option to go out there and hit in that situation, just considering how much better his at-bats have been. Like, that's the big thing is Vargas he's put together some good at-bats. He doesn't get the credit he deserves for it, and he's only been here for a short time. However, he has, much like a lot of guys, filled needs for this team and done a better than average job at times at filling those needs, both defensively and offensively. So he's been really good for this team, and I think a lot of us would have preferred to see him in there getting that pinch hit opportunity over ADC. However, I only say that because I can, and it wasn't my decision, and I can poke fun at the decision that was made. Overall, though, let's hear from the man himself. Here's what Torey Lovullo had to say about this loss and what it means for the team's trajectory going forward for the postseason.
We had some things go our way today, but we just couldn't close the deal on some very key situations. That's the thought I'm having right now. We unfortunately couldn't capitalize on an unreal start by Brandon Pfaadt, so it's 9 strong innings, 6 pitches, 97 pitches, and you start to get concerned about the up downs. It was his 9th inning. He's never pitched that deep into a baseball game, but didn't let it affect him. He went out there and executed an unbelievable game plan and just got into a great rhythm with McCann. We picked up that leadoff triple. We got a runner to third base, less than 2 outs the following inning, and the name of the game is executing at the most critical times. And unfortunately, we couldn't do that. Not for lack of effort, not for lack of trying. These guys know how to do it. We just couldn't deliver, and that's the frustrating part of this day. I felt like we were in position to win that game. We just couldn't pull the trigger and get it done. But we got to remember what our objectives are. It's not going to change. My mindset isn't going to change. Their mindset isn't going to change. We got to win baseball games, plain and simple. I don't care how we do it. We got to flush this one as fast as possible. This one hurt. This one definitely hurt. They all hurt this time of the year, but flush it as fast as possible. We got another huge series coming up against the Phillies, and we got to go out and be at our competitive best. That's all I can say about what our mindset is right now, and dealing with some of this frustration. Hats off to our pitchers. And I think the emotional letdown after there's a run scored in extra innings or a run or two that are scored in extra innings is a real effect. So I think there was just a natural letdown once they got a couple of runs. So I'm not gonna be bothered by the 5 runs in the last inning. I'm bothered by the execution, the lack of execution inside of that inning that got us to that point. But we got to tighten a couple things up, and we will.
Hey, I see your comments. I read your comments. I get where you guys are going with this. And for sure, I mean, there's always some Toreyisms that stick out, and flush it and getting nicked up. Those are definitely ones you're going to always hear after a loss. But they do have they do have to kind of just move on from it. There's not a lot to dwell about in this one. Offensively, some things need to change. And I mean, again, this team was riding an emotional high from last night's walk-off win. They come in here today. They didn't really get locked in, and they faced off against a very good Justin Verlander, who, quite frankly, has been very good, like I said earlier, coming into this. So they definitely need to use their off day to get some rest, to get their heads right, because, again, just like this series, the next series is the most important series of their year. And that's how every series is between now and the end of the season. It really doesn't even matter if the Mets flame out and lose 3 games in a row to a team. Like, there's no quitting, because the other teams, this Giants team, is breathing down your neck. And again, their road is not easy. They have to play the Dodgers again. We have to play the Dodgers again. So there's still a lot of baseball to be played. And, every single day they come to the yard, they have to take that game as a must-win game. I hate what happened today. I hate it. I hate what happens a lot of times on these kind of game 3 of a 3-game series where the Diamondbacks win 2 games. It's become, part of our lore now that Torey Lovullo is going to go out there and put in a half-ass lineup of guys and give half of the hot players that went 3 for 5 or 4 for 4 the night before, that he's going to give them the day off in the finale and not go for that very important final win. And it's frustrating, because it feels like he is satisfied at times with the series win and uses it as a chance to, let's get a little rest in today before what? We have another off day on Thursday? Like, there is no rest for the weary, and there's no rest for this team right now. They are 77 and 76? I forget. I'm so angry right now talking about this. I can't even think straight. But 77 and 76, Shane. There's no room for error, and being 500 is not going to get you into the goddamn playoffs. It's just not.
Being angry with the lineup is just as integral as a part of baseball as beers at the ballpark is.
I know.
That's just what the it doesn't matter if you hit 3 home runs. You're going to get taken out if the matchup isn't good enough the next day. That actually happened today with Dom Canzone, by the way. He hit 3 home runs.
He hit 3 home runs. Yes, we were going to do Spying on Our Exes with Dom Canzone.
And he's not in the lineup today.
And he's not in the lineup
today. It's a bad matchup.
That's crazy. But you guys also had an Etsy witch help you out. Let's be honest.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You absolutely know what I'm talking about, Shane. You haven't lost a baseball game since the Etsy witch.
I've never heard those 2 words.
You are a liar, and you know it. And I think you might be an Etsy witch. I have my suspicions. I texted you that earlier, and now you're just confirming them for me.
I have no idea what you're saying.
But yes, again, the remaining schedule is not easy. It's and nor has this entire month been.
Sorry, that was my spell.
Hey!
I accidentally just casted a spell. I'm sorry.
I'm never gonna not find the Glockenspiel to be absolutely.
Oh my god! I think I just summoned it.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
wrong spell.
No! Get him out of here, Shane. Get him out of here. That's the reason why Randall Gritchick doesn't play for this team anymore.
I don't have a spell for that.
Oh man. Well, see, now I was trying to get angry, and Shane's over here being cute and making it hard for me to stay angry, and whatever. I'm fine now. But again, every game's a must win. I don't care what Torey thinks. I don't care what Jesse Friedman thinks over there from Snakes territory. He even admitted sometimes games are must win, even though they're not all must wins, and most of them aren't must wins, but some of them are. And right now, during this time of the year, every game is a must win. Every game needs to be taken seriously, because we just had this happen to us, and the Diamondbacks are in a place where they could make the postseason when nobody was expecting them to, right? Again, easier said than done. I'm sitting here in a chair, my little fat belly sticking out, talking about going out there, get more hits, score more runs. Why is it that hard? What is wrong with you? Hit the guy in from third base. Baseball is a difficult game. And again, especially when you're locked into this kind of very important matchup, especially a very important game for the Giants. If they got swept today and they lost this game, the Giants were basically going to be in a position of their season being over. Like, that's how crucial all of these series are. It's already bad enough that they lost this series to the Diamondbacks, but getting swept would have been a disaster for them. And I wish we could have made that disaster come true. Unfortunately, they come up short. It also is really frustrating to me that this game was what it was. And not only did it end up being nearly 3 hours, because at one point it was nearly a 2-hour baseball game,
Dude,
and it goes 3 hours.
If
Went
they
2
get-
hours and 50 minutes.
If they get Corbin home, that game is legitimately almost under 2 hours.
Yeah, no, legitimately. And not only that, but it frustrates me that this ends as a 5-1 game. That's just salt in the wound. How did this excellent pitching matchup that was, nobody was scoring and there was just razor thin margins.
At least it wasn't 5-4.
5-1.
At least it wasn't 5-4. That would have been bad.
Yeah, that's all. That would have been a totally Diamondbacks thing to do in 2025. Score 4 runs in the bottom of the 11th, but just come up 1 run short. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and then we come back. We're going to look at the numbers from this series. We're also going to see where the Diamondbacks currently stand in the wild card race. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondbacks show. Well, we love our friends at Branded Bills because we all have hats around here. Shane has his wonderful Branded Bills PHNX hat on right now. Woo! Here it is. Let me get it on. I'm going to switch it out because it matches my outfit, and it's also a gorgeous hat. And it stretches and it fits, and me and Shane aren't even the same head size. And look how well, that just like a glove. It just fits right on.
Derek doesn't have a tiny head. I just have a very small one.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot to break down there.
Idiot.
But if you are looking for some custom gear like we got, you can make your brand stand apart from the crowd with Branded Bills. They can make you an amazing hat just like they made us with this PHNX hat, and your custom gear will stand apart from the crowd, whether you're looking for their stretchy, comfortable snapback hats, whether you're looking for fitted hats, beanies, truckers. They got bags, they got shirts, they got everything over there at Branded Bills. And if you just are looking for some amazing hats to wear, they got you covered over there with hats for U of A and ASU as part of their campus collection with over 40 other universities, as well as Phoenix Suns. What are they called over there? The Phoenix Suns, right? They're a local company from right here in Mesa, Arizona. And again, they make incredible hats, even hats just for our wonderful state of Arizona. So head to brandedbills.com and use code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. And of course, everyone needs a checking account, so make sure you get yourself a checking account with built-in benefits, and you can do that over at Mountain America Credit Union. Mountain America's My Style checking account has perks built in just for you, including restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, and so much more. They offer loan rate discounts, they offer restaurant deals, they offer deals on travel and events, and so much more. So check out Mountain America Credit Union right now and their My Style checking account. See if your My Style fits your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. They were open in the 1930s. They have hundreds of branches across the Southwest, and they have over 1.2 million members. So visit macu.com/mystyle to apply today. They're insured by NCUA. Membership is required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions to apply. Well, Shane, it's not pretty, but the Diamondbacks did win the series. Let's take a look at the count presented by our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. Of course, this is a series win. However, a very close series. The Diamondbacks, and that's with them winning the first game 8-1, which is just crazy. But they lose the finale 5-1, and they win that very exciting game 2 by a score of 6-5 in walk-off fashion. The Diamondbacks outscore the Giants here 15-11 in the series. Both teams only had 2 home runs in this series. The Giants did not have a lot of runners in scoring position. In fact, in the series, they only had 13 opportunities with runners in scoring position, and they converted on 7 of those for a .538 batting average, which is just wild. But again, very limited opportunities. Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks had tons of opportunities. They were 9 for 35 with their runners in scoring opportunities here in the series. They had a .257 batting average. Starting pitching ERA for both teams was very, very good. Giants 1.93, Diamondbacks 2.84. Diamondbacks' only blemish was the 5 runs allowed by Eduardo Rodriguez in yesterday's start. Meanwhile, the Giants only had 3 runs allowed in game 2 there by their opener. So overall, good performances here. Bullpen's not so great, 6.23 ERA for the Giants bullpen. Meanwhile, Diamondbacks bullpen did not allow a run in this series until today. In fact, did not allow a run until the 11th inning of today's game. So they had some good things going on until they didn't anymore. And that was the 4 runs allowed there by John Curtis and Juan Murillo in this 11th inning. But the big question here is, how does this stack up? Do the Diamondbacks lose ground? Where are they currently at? Well, let's take a look at the drunken orgy of violence that we call the wild card race. Cubs still sit at the top right now currently, and they are in a great position at 88-64. They are 9.5 games up on the final wild card spot, and they are sitting pretty. They do not really have much of a chance at winning their own division, but they still could, I believe. They're not too far back from those Brewers, and who knows what happens in the final 9 games. So they still very much have something to play for, and that is important because they still have a 3-game series against the New York Mets, who sit in the final wild card spot right now at 77-73. Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks are 2 games back of them at 77-76. The Reds sit at 500 at 2.5 games back, and the Giants now sit at 500 at 2.5 games back. Meanwhile, the Padres, again, very interesting part of this as well. They are 4 games back in the wild card. They really can't afford to go on any kind of losing streak or slump because bad things could happen to them right now. So they have a tough matchup here with the Mets, and unfortunately, as much as it grosses us out, we need to root for the Padres.
What kind of bad things?
Losing all of their games. That kind of bad thing.
I was thinking like tummy aches and
that too. I hope they have tummy aches.
Tummy aches and spider bites.
Yes, and then the Diamondbacks can actually win the final series of the year and possibly give them a chance to go in the postseason.
And they get candy and good digestion.
Yes. And then, I don't care what happens after that. Honestly, I really don't. We've been asked time and time again, what is success for this Diamondbacks team? I feel like they're experiencing it. I feel like they've exceeded expectations when expectations couldn't have been lower, which obviously isn't very difficult to do, but they've far exceeded those expectations. We just kind of expected the final 2 months of the season to be this team rolling over and dying and us having to be here to watch the slow death. And instead, the Diamondbacks have been very competitive. They've made this fun, and they are playing meaningful baseball games here at the end of the month, and it's all we can ask for. Our guy Spencer over at DNVR sent out a meme of them, the SpongeBob meme, staring down at all of us, everybody else in the All-City network, all having a great time with our teams, the Rangers, the Phillies, the Cubs, for the first time in our All-City history, have clinched a playoff spot. So they are for sure in the playoffs, and that is great for those boys up there up north. Of course, the White Sox are also there. But Sean Anderson's doing a great job with that team. So even if that team isn't in playoff contention, at least it's a whole lot of fun to watch that show. But credit to those guys at DNVR, because it's been a tough season to watch the Rockies. And to be fair, those guys have made it a lot of fun, at least for Rockies fans. They've done a great job. It's hard, though, sometimes, just like watching this team today lose this game when it was right there in their grasp. This is such a close race that every single day matters, and the opportunity to make up ground is depressing, and more depressing would be the idea of possibly losing ground and moving farther back away from the Mets. So let's hope things go the Diamondbacks' way, and let's hope this race stays interesting right up until the final day, when we can be celebrating the Diamondbacks somehow making it into the mother effing, I can say mother effing Yoffs, right? I can say mother effing Yoffs. So let's make the mother effing Yoffs, y'all. Let's do it. We're going to take a quick break. And then on the other side of this break, we're going to have a conversation about what the Diamondbacks are going to do here down the stretch, because before today's game, Torey Lovullo revealed to us that they will be turning to a 4-man pitching rotation. And at least with the way Pfaadt pitched today, I feel a little bit better about the decision. We're going to talk about that.
Well, and we're also going to talk about how many cows Derek thinks there are in the world on the other side of this quick break. Don't you go anywhere.
How many cows? Well, I hope my friends at Rally House can help me figure out how many cows there are in the world, but that's not their job. That's not what they're here to do. They're here to provide us with amazing sports gear. That's what Rally House does, and they do it just for you, Arizona sports fans, and they just provide you with Arizona sports gear. You're not going to go to a Rally House and see all of these other team jerseys in your face. You're not going to have to search through Lakers jerseys and Cowboys jerseys to find local stuff. This is a team. This is a shop for you, for local fans on game day. They only carry Arizona sports teams, and it is the go-to shop for all of your favorite local Arizona sports team gear. Doesn't matter what you're looking for. Baby's diapers. Shane's got a little plastic baby. He's got to take care of that baby. He needs diapers for it, and he would prefer if they had the Suns logo on them.
It's currently up on the wall in the office.
Well, you need to get yourself some new baby diapers. Also, doesn't matter what you're looking for. They got you covered. Hats, shirts, jerseys, something to match what you're wearing, something to look great on your car. They have it over there at Rally House. Every time you visit Rally House, you're guaranteed to find something new, unique, and that matches your game day vibe. Find your local Rally House location. They have locations in Tempe, Mesa, and Glendale, and shop their entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com today. And also our friends over there at All Pro Shade Concepts, like they understand the game of extending your outdoor living space. And it's getting to be that time of the year. Hoodie season, outdoor season, hanging out on the patio, maybe having a little fire, and nothing makes that outdoor time better than having your outdoor living space looking lovely. All Pro Shade Concepts can do that. They can help you add a customized awning that will look like a piece of artwork when it's not up, and then protect you from the sun and other elements when it is. They have hundreds of designs and colors to choose from that will match any home, and they can also work with your HOA, which we know how finicky they can be, to ensure compliance on all of that stuff. They can add LED lights. They can add remote control, retract with a remote control, all sorts of fun stuff. They also offer roll down patio shades for your patio or for even inside of your home that can keep your home up to 20 degrees cooler and block out 95% of those harmful UV rays. They've been in business right here in the Valley for 20 years. They started making window shades by hand for friends and family in Phoenix, and now they are one of the largest installers of patio roll down shades and motorized awnings in the Valley. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, so give them a call at 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadeconcepts.com right now to schedule your free estimate. And Shane, they are in my like rotation as a guy for me. And when I say that, it's because being my age and being who I am, people typically ask me, "Do you got a guy for that? Do you got a guy? Do you got a plumber? Do you got a guy I need a shades guy?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got a guy. I got the best guy. I got All Pro Shade Concepts."
You have a Shane's guy?
I do got a Shane's guy. It's Shane.
Name.
It's it has more to do with jewelry than you, but it's a whole other thing.
Hey,
Also, you're the third Shane, because Shane at the Diamondbacks, he's ranked very high for me as well. But of course, before the game, we got some news. Probably not surprising. I feel like as a journalist, though, sometimes I'm left out of the loop, right? Because it's not to say this idea of going to a 4-man rotation seems crazy with the way the games are stacked up for the final 9 between here and the end of the year. And it's also based a little bit on how the postseason, if the Diamondbacks should make it to the promised land, will stack up for them and who they will have going in those games. But very intelligent people like Steve Gilbert and Nick Picoro and our guy Jack Summers, they've been kind of bothering Torey Lovullo about his starting rotation changes. And I've been like, why? What changes could they possibly make? They're not going to remove Nabil Krismat, the ace of this staff, from the starting rotation, are they? Because that would be foolish. And yet, here we are. The Diamondbacks are, in fact, turning to a 4-man rotation, and they are removing Nabil Krismat from the starting rotation. And this makes me sad for multiple reasons. One, he's been very good for this team, and I think that he's just a guy that can go out there and get outs. I do think he's extremely valuable out of the bullpen, which is where he will now pitch out of. And again, if a strategy comes up where you want to go with an opener and then turn to Krismat, that is still on the table, as well as him just being able to come in and provide some long relief should someone flame out, kind of like we saw with Erod in Game 2 of this series. However, like we discussed after yesterday's game, these starting pitchers for the Diamondbacks, they tend to have a bad outing, and then they somehow figure out after that one, not bad outing, bad inning, and then they figure out how to get back on track. Only in a couple of instances, especially with Erod and Brandon Pfaadt, where that really didn't happen, where they weren't able to get things back on track. But here's what Torey had to say pregame about the move and why it makes sense to turn to the 4-man pitching rotation.
Yes, I do. We are going to go into a 4-man rotation. We're going to bump Krismat into the bullpen. So it will be, let's see, Gallen, Erod, Pfaadt, Nelly. So just that'll be the pattern. Gallen, Erod, Pfaadt, Nelly.
So this is the last 10 games?
Yes.
Gallen Saturday night.
What's that?
Gallen Saturday night.
Yeah, where does that leave us? So Friday will be Nelly, Saturday will be Gallen. Yeah.
Can you just talk about why you wanted to go that route?
Well, we wanted nothing against Krismat. He's been throwing the ball extremely well. We felt like there'd be some value to get some length, dependable length out of the bullpen. So the 4 guys have been leading the charge for us all year long. They've been throwing the ball. Some have been throwing the ball exceptionally well, and we wanted to match up the best way we could against the most critical teams, the most critical times. And we spent some time on it. I know I was asked a question a couple of days ago, do we know what our rotation is going to look like? And this is something we've been talking about for 7 or 8 days. So we knew this was a possibility. We had a chance to realign it based on the off days. But it's a 4-man rotation, but they're still going to get 5 days. Some are going to get 2 days off. I'm sorry, an extra day and pitch on the 6th day. So we felt like this was the right thing to do.
Well, it does add another weapon to the Diamondbacks bullpen, which they kind of desperately need, right? I mean, some guys have been able to do it. Taylor Rashi has been able to give them some length, but with DFAing Descalfani, it really felt like this is a move that gives them a powerful weapon in Chris Mott coming out of the pen. I'm sad because I've developed a relationship with Chris Mott to the point where he calls me Papa. And that's very special to me. So I'm going to be very protective of my sweet, sweet boy. He's done an excellent job for this team, as has a few other guys that have kind of stepped up since the trade deadline and filled roles that the Diamondbacks needed them to fill, including James McCann and one Blaze Alexander. Before we get out of here, I did want to give you a quick update. Blaze did kind of re-aggravate his elbow a little bit. Here's what Blaze had to say about sliding into second base and seeing the trainer Max Esposito.
Yeah, I had that kind of an awkward landing. I haven't even looked at it, but I definitely banged my elbow pretty good. And it just kind of re-aggravated in a way. You know, I felt good, able to finish the game. You know, didn't affect swings or nothing, but yeah, in that moment, felt it pretty good, and it kind of sucked.
Well, we can't lose our precious baby boy Blaze, so hopefully he's feeling good, and hopefully the day off helps him to recover from that. But we will be back tomorrow. We don't have days off on Thursday. The team might, but we don't. So we'll be back tomorrow at noon. Make sure to join us for that show. We're going to take a look at what the Amarillo Sod Poodles are doing down there in Amarillo, as well as preview the upcoming series with the Philadelphia Phillies. So make sure to join us at 12 p.m. for that tomorrow. What do you got, Shane?
Derek, how many cows are there in the world?
There are 3.5 million cows.
Chat, cook his ass.
How many cows are there?
Chat, did you hear that?
How many cows?
3.5 million? 1.5 billion.
Billion. All right. I knew I was coming up short, but I didn't know it was.
Which country has the most?
We eat a lot of cows.
Which country has the most cows per capita?
Spain.
Uruguay. They have 11.9 million cows and only 3 million people.
Wow.
Which country has the most cows?
I am not doing cow trivia anymore, Shane. I don't know anything about cows.
How many cows are there in the U.S.?
500 million?
93 million.
Damn it, I'm bad at all of this. All right, well, we'll be back tomorrow. Maybe I'll know more cow stuff tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know. I can't act like I will, but we appreciate you guys so much for stopping by, and hopefully join us for that.
Argentina's third. That's a good guess, Caesar.
Yeah. Well, Friday, we have a fun guest stopping by. Speaking of guests, maybe Blaze will be able to tell us in person, because we're going to have an interview with Blaze Alexander on Friday, so make sure to join us for that. That'll be prior to the game, and then we'll also have a post-game show later after the game. So make sure to join us for all of that. Until then, I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. You can follow me and Shane on Twitter. I'm at cap_caveman with a K. Shane is at Shane Deef. You can figure out how to spell that. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks, but all roads lead to, what was it? 5 billion cows?
No, 1.5 billion.
1.5 billion cows. All roads lead to 1.5 billion cows in the world. That's crazy. All roads also do lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys again for your time. Thank you for stopping by. And Katie wants to know, when did this become a cowcast? We're gonna have to do a cowcast now. Maybe from a field, Shane.
What is the whole? It's just gonna be me going.
A friend of mine has a game where you are aliens and you attach the thing to your head and you have to pick cows up from like a rotating, almost like the fishing game that you played as a kid, but you put it on your head and you got to get cows to come up to your spaceship. We're going to play that.
What has to happen for us to play that live?
I don't know. We're going to need you guys to sign up for the supporters club. Is what we're going to need you to do.
Yeah,
for sure.
Maybe 10 supporters by Friday from the Dbacks chat. And we'll do a cowcast. I don't know if anybody wants that, guys.
Everybody wants that. I want it now. I want it now more than ever. And now I'm going to go look up all sorts of cow trivia. So until the cowcast happens, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Behave yourselves. Enjoy life. And don't worry too much about this loss. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you don't have to remove the word sweep from your vocabulary altogether.
We all silly like the mayor.